Good morning. Sorry, I'm heavily breathing. I just finished working out, getting my 1 mile in, having my prayer and worship time, my meditation time this morning. So I'm literally just getting back in my place. Hey, Brittany. And of course, I have the best thoughts in probably in between my workout time and my running time. Hey, Colette, probably my running time more than anything. I think that's when I really have my best time with God. I listen mostly to worship music when I run. Sometimes I still got ratchet, so sometimes I listen to Ross, but most times, or some, hip hop music, but most times, 95% of the time, I'm listening to worship music. And so this week has been, a little tough. I hadn't just felt like myself a little bit. Good morning. And thank you, Colette. I can't wait to see the pictures. Hello, Yana. And so, sometimes people aren't transparent about their own struggles. And, my platform is all about my transparency and about my vulnerability that y'all know I still be working on. But this week is I think today's Wednesday, I feel like it is. And yeah, it is. It's Wednesday. And so this morning I had to reset. I had to reboot. Good morning. Hey, Tiff. Had to reboot this morning. And so as I was running, I have been, good morning, Munson. I have been working on trust. So right now, so readers are leaders. I tell you guys that all the time. Good morning, Ms. Verna. Readers are leaders. And so I have been reading Trust by Iyanla Vanzant. My coaching clients know that because we talk about it in our sessions. And so God has really been dealing with me in that area. And so, good morning. And so, if y'all don't have the app, y'all definitely, I dropped the app, the link for the app in the message of this post. So you definitely want to download the app, whether you're male or female. It's such great content there. I spent a lot of time. Hey, Munson, I spent a lot of time on that app. I spent a lot of time. Every single thing that y'all see, I've watched. So when you look at all those videos, I've watched every last one of those videos, sometimes twice. So, but anyhow, this morning, good morning, Brandon. This morning I did my 1 mile. I hadn't ran all week. So as I'm running, hey, Tiff, as I'm running, I'm trying to focus in on my time with God and just having to arrest negative thoughts. Something I was just like, oh, my body feels sluggish. Oh, I just feel like, I'm not going to beat my time like I did, the other week. And I'm just like, oh, I just don't. And so as I'm running, God's like, manifest anyway. Just run you don't even know. Because like whenever I run, I use the Nike Run app, which is one of my favorite running apps and that I use. And so God's like, just run. You don't even, you're not looking at your time as you're running. You have no idea what speed, what pace you're running, what time you're about to beat, right? So when I get to a half a mile, right after I had that negative thought about, oh, I'm not going to beat my time because I am a numbers person. Y'all, I'm a mortgage officer. I'm a numbers person, for a living. So as I get to half a mile, that lady said, the lady on the Run app, she says, hey, Annie, she says, half a mile, 4.3 minutes. And God was like, see, you thought you was going to be at 5. You at 4.3. Can you run? Can you keep going? Can you manifest anyway? Even though you don't know where you are in the track, even though you don't know how fast you're running, because when I'm running, I don't, I can't look down at my phone. Hey, Miss Pam, I can't look down at my phone and be checking my time. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's a distraction and I have to stay very, very focused when I'm running. So, hey, Ashley. So God's like, just keep going. You don't even know. And so that really spoke to me this morning, and to encourage you guys, you don't even know how close you are to hitting goals. So just don't stop. The only thing that says that the only thing that'll keep you from reaching goal is if you stop. just don't stop. It ain't about the number. It's about you not stopping. It's about the effort that you put in. And so as I'm running, I'm like, so once that time said 4.3, I was like, but God, I thank you, because I just knew that I was at like 5 minutes or something stupid, or 6 minutes, and I wasn't going to beat my time. So as I'm running back, because my goal is to get into single digits. So last week I did 10 minutes, 15 seconds. So on my way back, I can feel myself again, trying to arrest those thoughts. And so for those of you who think that the enemy is not coming for you, like people that you see constantly look like they pushing, oh, he does. Hey, Annie, he comes for us. We're always at battle. We're always at war. And so he has come for me this week heavily. And so as I'm running back, I get to, it says, congratulations. You are at 9 minutes. I couldn't stop it fast enough because I wanted to click off at 9. And by the time I stopped my run, it said 10 minutes even. I think I could have passed out in the grass. I was so broke down. Now, keep in mind, I'm 15 seconds quicker this week than I was last week. But because I wasn't at 9 minutes, I'm like, why am I not at 9 minutes? Hey, Patrick, why am I not at 9 minutes? You know, because of course I'm a numbers person, and I get obsessed with goals, and I obsessed over reaching them, no matter what the arena is. And so I'm like, God, why am I not at 9 minutes? But God said, you're 15 seconds quicker than last. You ain't even a real runner. You don't even like this. You're faster than you were last week. Manifest anyway. And so I just had to stop and tell God, thank you again, because there was a season when I hated running. When I first started running, hey, Jasmine, when I first started running, I mean, my first run was like 13 minutes, close to 14. And then like my second one was like 12 minutes. So it's like each time I've gotten better and better and better. Now, am I running tomorrow? Absolutely, because I'm going to get to single digits. No matter what the enemy says, I'm getting to single digits tomorrow. So y'all gonna have to stay tuned and pray your girl up. But I just wanted to encourage someone on today to manifest anyway. I don't care what it looks like. Hey, Gabby, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what the enemy said it can't be. I don't care what it looks like. Keep going. You don't know how close you are to goal. And when you start allowing the negative thoughts to slow you down, because that's really what slows you down. It's not your pace, it's not your legs, it's not your effort, it's your mind. And when your mind begins to have negative thoughts that, oh, I can't make it, or oh, it's not going to be this time, then it really won't be this time, because your mind is the thing that controls everything. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to keep pushing. You got to keep going. If you fall, forgive yourself, get back up, start over. You can't change what happened. You can't change where you fell. You can't change how you got off track. You got to keep going anyway. So you just keep up going anyway. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I had to tell myself this week. Like, God, I got to keep going anyway. I got to. I can't stop. Lives are dependent on me. People are dependent on me to manifest. And people are depending on you to manifest. So if you believe that you do not have purpose, let me be here to remind you that you do. And that the people that are needing you the most are not the people in your past, but the people that are in your future. So you've got to manifest, because their lives depend on it. You know, and so as God has given each and every one of us some type of, hey, Kim Slack has given each and every one of us some type of platform to arrest and to go after in this season. Do not let the enemy make you think that it ain't gonna work out just because of COVID, just because of your job situation. No, God is a healer, and he is omnipotent. He is Jehovah Rapha. You know, sometimes you just got to begin to tell God who he is to you, even when it don't look good, even when what you're seeing doesn't look like you want it to look. You got to just begin to tell God what it's going to be, what you believe is going to be, what you trust is going to be. You know, because if the enemy can destroy our trust, he can destroy us from becoming. If he can make us selfish and make everything about us, then we won't manifest, and we won't love on people like we should, and we won't be there in position like we should. See, the enemy's plight is to make sure we're not in position to catch the ball. That's the whole thing. He's constantly playing defense, and his idea is to keep you out of position so you won't be in place to catch. but you got to make sure that you're fighting every single day to be in position. God, I just want to be in position. And that was my prayer this morning to God. God, I know that sometimes my pace, I feel like I'm moving slow, but I don't realize I'm moving so fast. And so I'm one of those people who struggles with sitting, and I struggle with being in the present moment. I struggle really, really bad with that. And so, my team always tells me, hey, Allison, hey, Nadia, hey, Miss Janice. Our team always tells me, Lauren, you got to be present in the moment. Don't forget to be present in the moment, because I'm such a creative mind and I'm constantly doing so much. Sometimes, when people say that they too busy to do stuff, no, they just don't want it bad enough, because y'all see what I do on that app. I'm right. Y'all don't see all the other stuff that I'm doing. So, from the app to my writing to, I finished my 3rd book during COVID. My 3rd book I've been writing for 2 years. It didn't get finished until this season. Me and Mama have been going back and forth with edits, and we've been going back and forth with her transcribing. Am I going to keep this chapter? What chapter am I going to take out? What's going to be the best flow? Heck, I don't even remember half of the content because I've been writing it for 2 years, and I have to flush my brain. So I spent a lot of time doing that, a lot of time in the midst of worship, a lot of time coaching. I have, God has blessed my coaching business, and I'm super excited because it still hasn't reached the peak that it's about to reach, because I had to get back obedient, because sometimes, you get off track, and these are the struggles that people don't tell you about when you reach in purpose. Sometimes there's building blocks in the way, and you get off track, and then you have to reset, and you have to repace, and you have to get yourself back on target, because there's lives connected to you, and this is bigger than your feelings, and these are bigger than your emotions. And so, for me, I'm doing all of those things, and I'm a mom. Let's not forget that, okay? To 2 amazing little kings that I have to be present with, on top of everything that I do, on top of, all of this stuff. And so I just, sometimes you just got to sit back and just thank God. Alicia and I have had one of our biggest months this month. We are at, this is June 10th. Alicia and I think have closed, I know we've booked over 10 loans, almost right at $2 million in 2 weeks. You know how much work that is? It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of waking up and halfway sleeping type days, and I still in that time find ways to make sure that God knows that He's priority. So when people tell you that they don't have time or they can't, no, their focus is off. You have to realign yourself. You have to place your minds on things that are not carnal. You have to place your mind back on God. So a lot of times my day is spent as I'm calling clients, as I'm doing Zoom calls, as I'm scheduling coaching sessions, as I'm sending out coaching work, as I'm reading, as I'm doing all these different things. What do I listen to? YouTube sermons. I'm listening to sermons, all day. I may listen to 5 sermons in one day, easily. And God is speaking and moving. And so I just want to encourage someone that it ain't over. Manifest anyway. This is the season. Good morning, Mary Boston. This is the season for you to manifest. This is the season for you to go forth. And this is the season for you to really be in God's face and in His presence. This time that we have had has been remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And I can say, He has sustained through it all. I have not lacked, have not gone without. This has actually been the best past couple of months in all of my businesses. And so I am grateful for who God is calling me to be. Good morning, Tessa. I am grateful. And so when you just have a grateful spirit, God, I thank you in the midst of type spirit, I'm telling you, it changes everything. It changes everything. So I enjoy having you guys be a part of what I'm doing. I enjoy having you guys be a part of my journey and letting you see the highs, the lows, the glitz, the glams, the crazy hair, the pretty hair, because it's not, the process ain't always pretty. You know what I'm saying? To manifest the body that you want, you got to sacrifice the things that you like. To manifest the life that you want, you have to sacrifice the things that you just like. And that's the whole word. And God knows I have sacrificed so many times, and he's continually opening doors that I haven't asked him for, continually setting me in positions that I'm like, I don't really think I'm worthy for that. I don't really think that I'm good enough for that. And God's like, no, you the perfect one. And so know that this morning that you are the perfect one that you need to manifest anyway. And Tessa, if you're still on here listening, God said that he's giving you something, a vision, a business that you need to begin to manifest. On this morning, I just heard that as I was speaking. There's something that you're supposed to be doing that he has shown you in your secret time, in your dreaming time, and God said manifest it. Manifest it anyway. And I'm telling you, he is amazing. To be loved by him, he is amazing. So if Tessa's got off, if y'all DM her, tell her God had a word for her on this live, not to miss it. Go back and replay it. But I'm telling you, it's your season. It ain't no such thing that this ain't your season. No, it's your season. God is not a man that he should lie, and he's not holding up. He's not holding up your blessings. He's not holding them up. He's just waiting on you. Hey, Sheikah, he's just waiting on you. So you manifest anyway. When I started Purposeful Pain, I had nothing. God asked me to build a business in a season when I made the least amount of money. The least amount. I've made 6 figures and all of that. But God didn't ask me to manifest a book in the season when I was making 6 figures. God asked me to manifest a book in my lowest season. And I said, God, how could you ask me to do such a great thing in a season when I have the least? He said, because you are about to truly learn what trusting me looks like. And when I tell you, hey, Charity, and when I tell you, I self-published my book. No one gave me money to publish Purposeful Pain or the prayer journal or even the app. I, Lauren Nicole Grimes Jackson, did that by myself. And I tithed in a season when I made the least amount of money. When I left and I decided I was getting a divorce, I promised God that I would trust him with everything I didn't have and everything I did have. When I looked at my statement, my yearly statement, last year I had given God the exact amount of my salary. My W-2 and my tithing statement looked exactly the same. This year, God changed my jobs for Christmas in December. God changed my job in December. And I told God, I said, God, I need more money. This is getting tight. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, God, I can't keep running at this level. God said, okay, I got you. By Christmas, I passed my licensing test that I had failed 3 times prior. Understand, this is my testimony, and God clearly has me giving it for somebody on this live. And so God said, my job, the way that everything manifested is one of those things that you can't even make this stuff up. Like, people that are in my intimate circle know that I have a Jesus believe it or not type lifestyle. Like, it's just Jesus. It ain't no other way. Hey, Latoya, hey, Jarrell and Alyssa, thank y'all for joining. And so anyway, Christmas came, I changed jobs, got on with Alicia, who has been the blessing in my life. She has definitely been the blessing in my life. I tell her that all the time. And when I tell you, I love tithing. Like, I love tithing. I don't care. I'm not up there trying to manage the church money. I'm a PK. I ain't trying to manage the church money. I don't manage Walmart money. I don't manage Amazon money. I'm obedient. That's not my job to be worrying about what the people doing. Okay? It's my job to worry about what God told me to do. Because again, when you are distracted, it stops you from being in position to receive. So hear me clearly. You can't be distracted and in position. You gotta focus. And so the enemy will bring distractions, and people be posting stuff and saying stuff. Look, what God said is what he said. Right? He said, write the vision, make it plain. He gives us instructions. We just choose sometimes what we want to do. Hey, Michael, we decide sometimes what we want to do, but God say manifest anyway in this season. And so as I looked at my tithing statement this year, now keep in mind, we're in June, right? I tithe 3 times a month because I'm paid 3 times a month. So I tithe, period. It's not an option for me. I have tithed through COVID. Because if I made it last year when I was making the least amount of money I've ever made in my life, when I had to lose my big house, when I had to let go of my Lexus, okay, I had to let go of everything. I didn't even get to go to football games like I like to do because I'm a big football head. I gave God everything last year. I didn't have no life, okay? Period. If I wasn't speaking engagements, on tour, writing, I ain't have nothing. When I even decided to go to coaching school, I didn't have the money. God said, step out anyway, you're going to have it. I paid for my own coaching classes. When it was time to pay, God made sure I had the money. Let me tell you about how God will do. God had, and I'll get back to my tithing so you guys understand what obedience truly looks like when your obedience is about God and not man. God had I had the IRS sent me a letter and said, you owe us $3,000 back from 2017. They said, I owe them $3,000. Now this 2019, okay, 18, 19. I'm like, Lord, what am I going to do? So they said they had my mortgage interest statement incorrect. Okay, so I had to go dig that up. Granted, I done sold my house. Then went, looked for it, sent it in. Y'all, when I sent that paperwork in, do you know the IRS ended up owing me $1,200 plus interest? I got another refund in the season when it wasn't tax refund season. God sent that money right on time. I paid for my own coaching. When I tell you he will make ways, I had people sowing into me that y'all don't see me hanging out with. You wouldn't even know that they even know me like that. God had people sowing. When he said that he'll make sure that men are given unto your bosom, he mean that. When he said he'll open up a window and pour you out a blessing, you ain't going to have room to receive if you keep your mind stayed on him. See, that's the idea. You got to keep your mind stayed. So when I looked at so when I tell you, when people come with them excuses to me about what they can't do and, they know what God said, but they, baby, you playing. You ain't for real yet. You ain't for real yet. I'm telling you about manifesting in the season when I lacked. So as I look back, what was it, May? This is June. So I just got paid on the 1st. So I give. So I go looking at my tithe. I looked at it. I said, that number looked familiar. God said, what you did last year in a year, you've done this year in giving in less than 6 months. Y'all don't understand what I did in a year, I've done this year in less than 6 months in my giving to God, in my tithes. That sent me into a straight worship because I said, God, I don't even know how I made it. I don't even know how I made it. How I made it was I just trusted. I trusted God in seasons when I couldn't trace him. I trusted him in seasons when I didn't understand what he was doing. Some seasons, some days, I had no money in the bank and people didn't know. And I would go to church, get on the phone with one of my girlfriends, Sherelle can tell you, be on the phone with her. And it had got to the point where I had got so used to trusting him with my finances like that it didn't even bother me when I didn't have nothing. I'd be like, oh, he gonna make a way. Oh, you want to talk about God being your man? God was my man for real. And so I said, okay, all right. I could be on the phone with Sherelle. Next thing I know, I have a cash app for $100. And I'm like, God, what? It was in the little things. It was in the little seasons. People didn't know. People not understanding what it costs to put out. See, when I put out something, it costs me money. You know what I'm saying? It cost me a sacrifice to be a blessing to God's people. That's why I don't take my purpose so casual. That's why when I do it with excellence. That's why when I go hard for God, I go hard for God for real. Because see, God went hard for me when nobody was around. God, you know, my mama and my daddy couldn't help me. God went hard for me in that season when I couldn't get no help. It got to, and I'm very, 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 very prideful. I ain't no more, because he stripped it in that season, but I was very prideful. Every time, sorry, somebody was trying to call me, my daddy would call me and he would say, you know, you need something? And I'd be like, no, I'm okay. Knowing. And it got to the point my daddy would just send me stuff. Just off GP. He said, I know how you are, because I'm a real woman. You got some women that don't want to live off a man. I ain't never lived off a man a day in my life. I ain't never lived off a man a day in my life. Even in my marriage, I always had my own, always made my own coin. That's why I feel like when women look to men, he need to do this. No. Bring your own to the table, sis. Because see, I'm not trying to live off you. I'm trying to manifest with you. I'm trying to propel with you. I ain't got time to be trying to live off you like a leech when I'm trying to build something with you. I want to secure the bag with you, because at the end of the day, if we both securing it, that means the table is lighter when both our hands are underneath it to raise it. If you sitting at the table and I'm laying on the table, I'm making it heavier for the man to raise. So no, sir, I want to put my hands underneath the table with you and get it out the mud with you. I've always had that attitude. So even in this season, I always had that attitude. I'm not going to take from you. I'm not going to steal from you. I'm not going to leech off you. I'm not made like that. Ain't never been a woman made like that. And so in that season, God had to truly, truly, truly get me together. So like when I coach, I always tell people, you can be as transparent as you want in this setting, because it is safe to be your most uncomfortable, vulnerable self. Because I can remember in seasons when I needed to be that. I remember in seasons when I had to have that. And see, the enemy would have wanted to distract me and tell me that I wasn't going to have. But God said, no, you shall have. Who has an app in a season when you ain't got no business spending money? Like, I didn't just launch a book when I launched the book. I launched 2 books at once and an app. That means that investment right there was an easy $5,000. Easy. And we ain't even talking about me printing the books for the party. That was a whole nother set of money. And you know what God did in that season for the people that worry about manifesting? I had taken some money from my 401k when I I had some money transferred that I forgot I even had with Capital One. Monies I didn't even realize I had. This is what God did that whole season. That's why when people tell me about what they can't manifest, because they concerned, baby, you ain't not really trust God yet. Because when I tell you he makes ways, he be making like crackhead ways, like some unexplainable silly ways that you be like, I don't even know how God came with that. Hey, Miss Hunter. And so I had taken some money and invested it in some property for a flip. I had been waiting for that money for months. But because I had gotten into this rhythm where God had just started providing, and I didn't really need to keep up with where it was coming from, it was like I always knew that that's when I started to understand seasons with God and like numbers and order. And I'm going to do a book on numbers and understanding the numbers, because numbers mean something to God. See, we be thinking that, we just take time so casual because our minds are so small. But to him, numbers mean everything. And so, oh, wow, Karanda, thank you. And so with God, I had invested $3,000. Hey, Brittany Dunn. And right now, that guess what? God got more money for me. Just wait. Brittany knows my account's on here. But I had invested $3,000. So I was like, God, I really hope that property hurry up and sell. We had like several looks at it. People had did like a cash offer, and then it would fall through. And it had got to the point I had just stopped worrying about it, because again, I didn't have time to be distracted by what I didn't have, because that's what the enemy wanted. He knew money was my thing. He knew, hey Marvin, he knew money. I'm in a bank. Of course money is my thing. Like, what do you think I do all day? You know what I'm saying? So God said, just focus on me. I'm going to make a way. Just focus on me. So randomly, I was like, I had to pay the last on the building, like right before we had the launch for the Purposeful Pain party. And I was like, God, I started looking at all these expenses. Brittany will tell you, I was in the office. I started looking at all these expenses, and I was like, Lord, how am I going to pay for this stuff? Because it was a couple thousand. I get a call. Hey, our property sold 2 days ago. I got a check for $6,000 waiting on you. That had to have been like 2 weeks before the party. Maybe 3 before my party. The money I had been waiting on came. And not only, and it was double, because I invested 3, but I walked away with 6. And it was just enough to do every single thing that I needed. So my platform has truly never been about me, because if it was, I would have never did it. It has not made me no multi-millionaire, but what it has done was given me wealth that I could never count in dollars. When people text me and message me and DM me and send me quotes and send me different things, hey Anthony, and send me different things about what I've done or what I've said or what I've posted or what they've read has changed their lives, there's not a dollar amount you can put on that. And so to see in this season, when people are like, are people still buying homes? Alicia and I have done over 10 deals in 2 weeks at almost $2 million in 2 weeks. That's our goal for the month. I've been with her since December, and every single month we're like, okay, we're going to get to 2 million. We're going to get to 2 million. We're going to get to 2 million. We've been at like 1.5, 1.4, right? Every single month. For God to give us 2 million in less than 2 weeks? Because I ain't even got paid again yet. So we ain't at the 15th. And have closed that many loans already in this season, when people are losing their jobs, when people don't know where the next meal is coming from. Like, you gotta know, like, trust in him is really serious. So when people say that they can't manifest something, or they waiting on God to do something, they not waiting, they just lazy. Because all you got to do is put one foot forward. Like, that's it. It's just effort. It's really just effort. And so, that's why I push my body the way I do. I work out the way I do. I take time. Hey, Jaquel, I take time out the way that I do. And I'm so strategic about my time. Like, somebody asked me yesterday, they were like, how do you have time to even eat based on the way that you operate? I said, I'm very strategic about my time and how I give it. Like, I manage my time like I manage my money. I can't just give my time to everybody. I can't just talk with everybody. I don't have time. So I have to be very strategic about how I manage that, because I'm really building something. No, I'm really building 8 different streams of income, and I'm probably up to like 7 right now. I may have hit 8 and don't even realize it, because that's how much I'm doing. And we haven't even talked about what my 2021 is looking like. So, this summer, I just finalized the book cover for Vulnerability, Art of Letting Go. That's going to pre-order this summer. That book is coming out first quarter. I'm in book 4. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Misha, I'm in book 4. So, I'm constantly ahead of the curve at all times, not because I'm trying to, because this is about me. No, this is about me breaking curses off of people's lives. So there's so much that I do, so my day starts out about 6:30, right? I get up 6:30, I pray, I read this book called Jesus is Calling. It's a devotional. It's a 365-day devotional. So it's amazing. I read that first thing in the morning. I read 30 Minutes of Trust by Iyanla Vanzant, because that's an area that I'm building myself in. Not really trusting God, but learning how to work with trusting people. And y'all see my mom is on here, so she could attest to how hard I work, because I hardly talk to her unless we working. And even some of the things I manifest and she still don't know about. So she's on here, Minister Jones. So I start there. Then by 7 o'clock, I'm in my closet. I pray till about 7:30. And some people on this live, I cover. God will send me a word, and I spend time and I sin, and I'm very obedient even when I don't want to be, because it is not about me, and it's not about what I look like. It's not about if I look crazy and all this other crazy stuff. And so by 8 o'clock, I'm in my living room. I work out now 5 days a week with Jeremy Jefferson, who is amazing. So I work out with him at 8 o'clock in the morning. Some mornings I go and do an hour, do my 1 mile run. And some mornings I don't. It just depends on, where my day has to start. So that's just the starting point. After that, I'm zoned into work. I write to-do lists the night before. So every morning when I get up, I already know, okay, what I'm prepared to do in a day's time, what it is that I have to do. And I'm telling you guys this, not because you care about my day, but because you need to understand the strategicness that you must have when you're manifesting something that's bigger than yourself. So you ain't got time to be talking to folk who ain't going nowhere. They'll kill your time. You don't have time to be talking to yourself about where you're not going, because that'll slow your time down. That's why I like to run, because running helps me to exercise my mind. It helps me to exercise manifestation. It helps me to exercise my time management. I understand that it can't take me 15 minutes to run no 1 mile. I don't have that kind of time. I got to do it in 10 minutes or less, because I got something else I'm supposed to be doing. And then, of course, I never know when God gonna download something, and then I gotta tell you, I don't get to look cute all the time. Y'all see what I look like? I'm on my workout mat. I haven't done nothing. My hair looks a mess. It just is what it is. So, so you gotta be strategic. By 5 o'clock, my mortgage day, I cut it off. I have to, because I have to go into purpose work. So tonight, I'll be coaching. I coach tonight. I coach tomorrow, and then I coach on Saturday. So I've got to be prepared for those sessions. And of course, I'm still reading, I'm still learning, I'm constantly feeding my own mind in other areas. So I'm doing all of those things and still building my network. Okay. So, and I'm managing my other teams, because although, yes, I do a lot, I also have a team for different things and they all do different things. So I have to check in and see, okay, where are we at on this project and that project, because all of these things at some point you guys are going to need. That's why God gave it to me to do, because I'm building it for somebody else, not for Lauren. So those are the ways that I move. And so when people are like, well, how do you have time? I make time for what I want. People make time for what they want. And I had to learn that too. People make time for what they want. When people say they don't have time, they just don't want it bad enough. It just ain't priority yet to them. It ain't that they ain't got time. It's just not priority. See, when God stripped away everything that I hid behind to hide my scars, when he stripped it away, I had no other option but to make what he needed priority. I didn't have no other option. There was nothing else there. It was me and him and my brokenness. That's it. And even in that season, I failed plenty of times, had to get back up and start over again plenty of times. So don't think that once you reach purpose, that like, oh yeah, you don't fall no more. No, you fall more, because you're because you're trying to catch up and you're trying to run. But God said, and this is what you learn in running, it's all about keeping the pace. It's all about keeping the pace. And so, this is not a race, it's a marathon. So for me, I had to learn how to keep the pace. That's why everything in my life attaches itself and it creates something else, and then it manifests as something greater. So I have a prophetic gift. So a lot of times I have to spend a lot of time in God's face, because I hear God for so many different things. Sometimes it's for me, sometimes it's for strategy, and begin to ask God that for strategy, and then sometimes it's for others. A lot of times it's for others. So I spend a lot of time ministering to people, and sometimes I'm like, God, I really ain't got time to minister to people. You see this to-do list you gave me? And he's like, yeah, that's good. I manage time. So you just do what I need. And so I have to be obedient. And so I always tell people I do all things well, and I do all things well not because of my own ability, but because of his ability in me. So that's how it looks easy. That's how it feels easy. That's how sometimes I sit back and I'm like, I really don't know how I did all this stuff today. And sometimes I have to cut off, I don't really get to watch much TV. And then sometimes when I do, I start writing again. And so then I have to pause the show because now I got to go write, because I've gotten the writing bug. And I tell people I'm not a real writer. I just can write my life, and so I can't, make up really what, anything without him. And so I have to constantly be in that posture. And so that's why distractions, you've got to make sure that you keep those things at bay, because those things will keep you off track. And see, that's all the enemy cares about it, and that's why I love football so much. And the analogy of football, the idea is, God is the quarterback. God is the quarterback. You're the wide receiver. The job of the wide receiver is just to be in position. God gonna throw the ball. Just be in position. You know what I'm saying? To catch it. That's it. Just be in position. The enemy don't care about the ball. He cares about your position. Because if you're in position, he knows you will catch it. So he's not chasing you down because he's chasing the ball. No, he's chasing you down because he understands the power of you being in position. And so I will not let anything stop me from being in position. Nothing. If I have to lose friends, so-called friends, whatever, I don't have time. My team always jokes and they're like, Lauren, some people around you aren't there for the right reason. And I said, well, why do you have time to figure out who's there for the right reason? Because I'm an ego. I don't have time to manage the weeds. That's why I don't worry about snakes. You got some people, because people get so granular. They be worried about stuff that don't make sense. I'm not worried about snakes because I'm an eagle. You think an eagle worried about a snake? No, they're not. That's not a part of their mindset. For me, whatever reason that people are connected to me in a season, whatever reason that God has me in their space or face for a reason, that reason is for him. I'm only here for his glory. That's really it. I'm not here for my own personal pleasures. He's going to give me the desires of my heart when my life lines up with his will for it. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to spend time concerned about that. And so that's why you always have to arrest those types of thoughts and let people know I'm not worried about the weeds, baby, because I'm not a duck. Ducks worry about that kind of stuff because they down there. They got to be worried. I'm not. So I ain't got to be worried about that. I'm worried about what's the next thing that I'm manifesting for God's people. God, what do your people need to hear? God, what do your people need to see? Use me. I've already used myself up. I always tell people, I don't feel like I make the best decisions. That's why I can't make none without him. So I'm always in Luke 2:52. God, give me wisdom, increase me in wisdom, give me favor with God, favor with man. I'm constantly asking him about knowledge and wisdom because I'm constantly wanting to make sure that what I'm doing is lining up with what he wants. I'm never trying to do something to make myself bigger because I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And so that's why I don't have to show off what I got or what I don't got or what I hope I get, because that stuff don't make me. You know what I'm saying? And like when that's the kind of things, those things become distractions when we trying to, I'm not trying to secure no bag just so I can show y'all the bottom of my feet. No, I'm trying to secure a bag because I'm manifesting something that's bigger than me. And when I'm doing something unto God, I'm going to do it in excellence. That's why I'm such a stickler. Anybody that works with me, my team knows I'm a stickler for time and I don't like to be late. I don't have time to waste. So I can't waste time waiting on you to get on a call 20 minutes late. That's a disrespect to my time. I'm very type A for a reason. I'm in control for a reason because I understand that what I am manifesting is bigger than me. And God has only given me a certain amount of time to do things, and he works in numbers. And again, when you are not in position, you will miss the ball. And so when you showing up late to stuff, this is the word for somebody. Hey, Valerie, when you're showing up late to stuff, guess what? You may have just missed being in position for God to manifest something. So that's why it's so important that when you do things, you think about the hour and the time in which you are doing it and what it means to God, because it means something. I don't even like the times that we do stuff. I look at times. If I'm having an event, I need to look at the time that I'm having it, because it means something. If I'm doing something at 5 o'clock, 5 is the number of favor and grace. 7 is the number of completion. 8 is the number of new beginnings. 3 is the number of resurrection. 1 is the number of unity. See, when I think about how I do stuff, the timing is everything for me. 25 is the number of double grace. 22 is the number of double discord. So you got to know God's timing and what numbers mean to him. So I'm a numbers person. So my team knows, okay, if Lauren wants something done at a certain time, there's a reason, correct? Because you always got to be in position. And so I always tell God, even in the few times that I find myself sometimes pushing myself harder, and then he slows me down, because he does that sometimes, like in my bookings. I've been writing. I started Purposeful Pain. I don't even remember what year, 2018, but I finished it, and this is why numbers are so important. I started Vulnerability, Art of Letting Go, September of 2018, and I had not finished Purposeful Pain yet. So I was in the last chapter of Purposeful Pain. God made me start writing the second book. So I just knew Vulnerability was going to be my second book. Before I could finish it, God gave me Intimacy. So he backed me up, because I had to be in position. I'm thinking, okay, God, we're going to go to Vulnerability. God said, you can't get there without Intimacy. You got to touch here. So that's why it's so important that you're always in tune. And I'm very, strong-minded. I can remember having meetings with my team, and they're like, all these platforms cost. That's the other thing people don't tell you. All these platforms cost. That app, that's a monthly subscription that I pay every single month. I've never missed a month. So even after I paid almost, $1,800 to do that app, I still have a monthly bill for that app every single month for maintenance, whatever. And so that's my seed, and from the business. And so anyway, I can remember at one point my team saying, well, maybe we, that's looking at all these different things, or maybe we need to cut that out. No, I will not. I will go without before I cut out my app. That ain't even an option, because that's my way to minister to God's people. And I know for a fact that they got a word in today, because that's how I get to them. See, everything I do is about ministry, not me. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And so ever since I did not do it, it's like I've gotten more messages. And I think what warms my heart even more is when men, especially now that my platform has changed and I've really opened it up and to men and women and spend time, I get so many messages from men saying, I got one this week that said, Lauren, you don't know how much the nightly prayer means to me. You don't know how much when you send that nightly prayer, what that does for me. So this month this is about strategy. This month I started doing the nightly prayer, but nightly worship, because God impressed on me that people needed to start learning and having worship moments with him. So I always put my favorite worship song, because of course I spend time with him, worship songs on there. And this week I've had more people opening up the notifications and evidently having worship time with him, because they messaging me saying, thank you for that song, or thank you for that worship this morning, or I shared your app with so-and-so and they love it, and so that's my wealth. That's my wealth. And so that's why I tell people, it's you got to sacrifice a thing to get a thing. And so for all these people that are saying they want to reach purpose, but they not sacrificing nothing, they don't want to reach purpose. They don't want to reach destiny. They just want to play. That's duck talk. That's duck talk. When you get serious, I tell my coaching clients, when you decide to coach with me, that's you saying no to what you're good at so you can say yes to what you're great at. Good morning, Kim. When you decide to coach with me, that's you saying that you're giving yourself permission to change permanently. You're not going back, because you can't go backwards and forwards at the same time and call it progression. You cannot. So when people are serious, they invest their money. So I said all of that to tell you this: manifest anyway. If you don't know how God gonna do it, that's the best time to do it. I had a season come up. God allowed me to invest in another platform that I will be releasing in the next year, but I'm paying for it now. And I got nervous, and I said, God, I'm nervous about this. I don't really know if this is, am I good enough to be in this sector? God said, just manifest it anyway. Just manifest it anyway. So I'm in a season again where I'm faithing it again. I'm faithing it again and again and again. And so I'm faithing with my heart in this season, and I'm faithing again in another platform, in another sector that I have no background in, but God told me to just manifest it anyway. So, there are seasons that God will call you out to pull you in to his glory for your life. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be concerned about what it's going to look like, how it's going to work. Yes, the enemy is going to attack. Yes. So don't come up here acting like you ain't know he was coming. Yes. That means you're on the right track. If he is not coming for you, that means you're doing nothing. Nothing at all. If he ain't coming for you, you're not doing anything. That's why he's not coming. There's no need to come, because he already got you. So, you want him concerned. I like him concerned about what I'm doing, because the more he come for me, the more I'm in my closet on my knees in the face of God, hidden in him. So, and there's more yokes being broken off of people's lives because I spend my time hidden in him. So yeah, I may skin my knee, but I ain't gonna stay there. Yeah, I may trip, but I'm not gonna fall. And so I do all of those things for God's people, for his glory, for where he is taking me. So understand that in this season, if you are tested, or if you are tried, if you are concerned, if you are worried that God, it may not come out, it may not work out this time, God said on this morning, manifest anyway. Manifest anyway. So all the people who claim they ain't got time to work out, no, they just don't want to make time. It's not priority. Get your temple in line so that God can use you. He can only push out what you've put in. That's why he tells us to hide the word of God in our heart, that we may not sin against him. But why he's telling you to put something in you. Put something in you so you can manifest the greater you. That's the whole idea. And so if you are concerned, if you're getting discouraged, if you're getting worried, God, how you going to do it? Take flight knowing it is already done. He's just waiting on you to line up for the right position. And Casey, I know you can really attest to this morning, being in position. So if it looks like you're not getting there, you're getting there. Because this morning I felt like in that 1 mile run, I was like, I'm not going to run a good run this morning. And I was so worried that I was not going to beat my time, but I did. 15 seconds early, I still beat my time this morning. So I pray that whatever I said blessed you. If you don't have the app, I dropped it in the top comments or whatever, where you can download it. Share it with someone if you already have it, and let their life be blessed today with God on purpose. And if you are desiring coaching and you want to be a part of the coaching culture, I'm revamping my website as we speak. So you can DM me and we can still get you set up. I've got clients all over, and our sessions are confidential, so you'll never hear your life story nowhere. But when I tell you, those sessions are amazing, and that they are truly life-changing. And if you are truly ready to take your life, your career, your goals to the next level, you need a coach to do that. You need someone that's not afraid to walk alongside you and cover you and tell the enemy who he's not going to play with when it comes to you and you manifesting who God has called you to be. So definitely you can DM me. If you've got my phone number, you can call me, you can email me. There's so many ways to get to me. I'm very technology savvy. I'm always connected to my network because I'm always connected to God's people. And so I never want to get to a season where I'm not touchable, ever. So if you desire that, please let me know. And just know that in this season, God is calling us to manifest. It's our time. It is our time. It is our time. It is our time. Cousin Sheila, good morning. It's time for you to manifest your book this morning. Cousin Sheila, I just looking at you. God said it's time for you to manifest that book, and that you have a story in you that the world needs to hear. There's a story in you that the world needs to hear. And so I know you've been kind of taking your time, but God said stop taking your time. Stop taking your time. So nobody but God this morning. So anyhow, but if you've got questions, concerns, if you want to know how to become an author, DM me. I'll tell you, look, my life is not about me. I've made the mistakes, so you ain't got to make them. And I'm going to tell you all the pitfalls are, so you don't go and fall yourself over there either. And just know that that he is faithful and just, and continue to push towards your goals, continue to push harder than you've ever pushed, and continue to love on God like you've never done, because I'm telling you, in this season, when we come out, we're going to be greater for it. Where you are headed, eyes truly have not seen and ears truly have not heard, nor has it entered into the hearts of man, all the things that God has planned for you in this season. So I am telling you, people of God, that if God has called you to do anything, I don't care what it is time for you to manifest. Get your butt up and manifest. It's time. It's time. And he's opening doors and ways for us to do just that. So don't worry about the money, where it's going to come from. Look, if I can do it, everybody can do it. You're welcome, Allison. If I can do it, everybody can do it. Okay? I'm telling you, everybody can do it. So don't worry about the money. Worry about your obedience. Do you have enough obedience and faith to take yourself to the next level? That's all it's about. That's all he wants is your effort. That's all he wants is your effort. So I love you guys on this morning. Download the app. Order the book if you haven't gotten Purposeful Pain. If you have not ordered Intimacy, order it. If you haven't booked a coaching session, I don't know what you're doing. Waiting? Who you waiting on? What you waiting on? Get in position so you can receive God's blessing. So that's all I've got. Share my live. I'm sure it's going to bless somebody with my wild hair. Share my live because I know that when we share, God always sets things in position for someone that needs to hear it. So, sometimes people think, oh, I want you to share my live because I want people to see it. No, I want people to get the word, because somebody was sitting down just now thinking about not manifesting something that God has called them out to do. And they may just needed somebody who don't know them to tell them, no, God said it was time for you to go forth, because God will always send a confirming word through another human being. He will always send a confirming word. When he tells you something, he will always come back and confirm it. And sometimes he will confirm it in a word, and most times he will confirm it in another person that does not know you, that has not seen you, who don't know jackrabbit about you. So it ain't no way they made that stuff up. It's like one of those things. It's like Jesus, believe it or not. Not Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's Jesus, believe it or not. So share, because you never know what a person was just about to abort, all because they didn't realize that purpose was on the other side of that door. And so that's one of the things that God has had to work on me with, especially in my season as I was building, was understanding that it was always important for me to activate when he said, not when I felt like it, because his timing is always perfect. He knows when somebody's just about to give up. He knows when somebody's just about to quit. See, people be having mental wars that you never hear come out of their mouths. So you don't know that they're at war. You don't know that they are fumbling and fighting with the enemy. And so when God says for you to do something, you need to do it right then and there, because that may just be the chain that breaks the yoke off of their lives. So that's why it's so important that you don't decide when you feel like doing something or when you gonna get to it, because you never know. Their life depends on your obedience. So when I tell people, when I'm like, share my life, no, I'm not telling you to share because I want to be seen. Like, I don't really care about that. I'm really low-key an introvert. So I don't really like attention if I ain't got to have it, but it's more about making sure that God's people hear the word that he has for them, not me. So that's just a nuance for somebody that maybe needed to learn obedience real quick, one-on-one, and what the power of it will do in your life. So I love you guys. Keep me in your prayers as I continue to manifest, because I'm not slowing down. The enemy should have killed me in that wilderness. When I was in the wilderness, he should have killed me then. But so I'm definitely not slowing down, and I'm definitely picking myself right back up and getting into my run right where I started, knowing that I will still beat my time, even though I don't always feel like it. So I pray that whatever I said blessed you, that it takes you to the next level, that it helps you to manifest and trust God like you have never, ever, ever trusted God before. Oh, thank you, Miss Wilson. That it helps you to trust God. Hey, Courtney and Miss Green, that it helps you to trust God like never before, because I am telling you, he's ready. He's ready. So get in position, get on your mark, get in your spot so you can receive God's blessings for your life on purpose. I love you guys. Bye.